One, two, shotty with a double chase line. Yeah, I love a baseline. 3, 2, 1, yeah, straight down the throat. I am the GOAT. 1, 2, shotty with a double chase line. Yeah, I love a baseline. Yeah, I love a baseline. I am the GOAT. I just wanna be 3, 6, 9. I just love a baseline. I just wanna be 3, 6, 9. I am the GOAT. I am the GOAT. I just wanna be 3, 6, 9. I just love a baseline. I just wanna be 3, 6, 9. Yeah, I am the GOAT.
Good morning, DJs. Welcome to another edition of the Jesse DJs Show. I'm your hostess with the mostess tonight, Queen of DJs, aka Jess, Jessie, Queenie, Moo Bag, old bitch bag. It's not bro. Don't be calling me bro because I'll be sending the Jesse Death Squad after you. Just saying, there are more than crypto bros on the internet. Girls are here. Tonight we have with us in the house Elvin, who's come to talk to us all about, well, he's going to tell us why he's the GOAT and how we can all be the GOATs as well. We have Goaty with us. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over now in traditional Jesse DJ style for Elvin to start us off with his funny joke. What you got for us, Elvin? Make us laugh.
Yeah, so I'm not the best at jokes, so I figure, I'll tell you guys a little story about, Asian, DJs, because, this is the queen of DJs that we're talking to. So I figure, we have to share, our most, DJ moment and most DJ stories. So, really good to share that with you guys. I've been in crypto for the last 3 years. I'm an avid poker player. There's times when I've spent, 36 hours, 48 hours playing poker. So, you have to be a certain personality type to be in crypto. You know what I mean?
That sounds like
So,
real
just like
DJ
you
to me,
guys,
Elvin.
especially Chinese people. Like I'm Chinese, so like Chinese people are like the biggest degens. So I'll tell you a little bit about, you know, Chinese and degenning. You know, Chinese people, they're very auspicious. You know, if you have watched like a Chinese gambling movie, there are a lot of these made like 20, 30 years ago in like Hong Kong. So I speak Cantonese, and like in the Cantonese language, literally all the best movies, they're all like gambling and casino movies. And for some reason, like Chinese people, if you ever go to the casino and you see like a Chinese person, they're playing baccarat, they're playing blackjack. They're always like opening their cards so slowly. Have you ever wondered like why? Like they like, you know, all the other people, they just want to know what is it. You know what I mean? Like hurry up, like. But when you pass it to like the Chinese guy or the Chinese lady, she's sitting there like moving it slowly. You know, moving the cards slowly one by one. Well, the reason why they do that is because like 20, 30 years ago, when they made all these movies, which they probably made to like promote like people going to the casino. That's probably why they made them. But like in these movies, they made it so like if you could like change the cards, so like you could make the card what you want it to be. So like if you open like a 9 already in baccarat, like if you just thought and looked at it like and you focus like hard enough, you could like make the card what you want it to be. So that's why like all these Chinese people, they open it so slowly. And you know, I remember this time, you know, I was with my uncle, and you know, we were celebrating like some family event, and you know, he was placing some bets, and he kept saying like, okay, this one's for grandpa, this one's for grandpa. Like Chinese people, they also like to gamble in like groups, and they like to speak. They think if I say this card, oh, eight's coming, then you know it's gonna come. You know, obviously that's not how it works, right? Any like rational person would be like, okay, that makes no sense. But yeah, they kept saying, okay, grandpa's got us. Like, their grandpa's dead already, right? They say, okay, this one's for grandpa, this one's for grandpa, and grandpa means king, right? I'm translating from Chinese to English. So they said, okay, they open it slowly. Okay, this one's for grandpa, this one's for grandpa. They lose like 5 times in a row, like big bets, right? So I make fun of them. I'm like, you guys are so stupid. Like, this doesn't work. Like, just because you say that grandpa, the king is coming, it's not coming, right? And then our grandpa's dead too. That was the thing. Like, grandpa's dead already. What are you guys like, you know, saying? At least if you're gonna do it, at least do it for grandma who's still alive, right? The grandma's been taking care of them, doing them really well. Like, at least make the card like a queen for grandma, right? So eventually, you know, I say this, and then they get a 9, right? So they show a 9 in baccarat, and then they say, okay, you know what? This one's for grandma in Chinese, right? Okay, give me a queen for grandma. And then they slowly open it, and what do you know? It's a queen. So, you know, I proved to them, okay, this auspicious stuff, it does work. It does work after all. Yeah, that's just a little story of you know, Chinese and degenning, and I'm hoping, you know, Goaty, this project can be your queen. If you've been trying to find your luck in other coins and you know it hasn't worked out for you, hopefully you know this can be the one for you.
This can be it. Yeah. Oh, awesome. That's really funny. I didn't actually know that about Chinese culture, that you're real degens. But now thinking about it, all the films that I've seen on that, it makes a lot of sense. It's really interesting. Thanks for sharing that. And it's funny, isn't it? Superstition. I don't believe in superstition, but I still find myself doing dumb things when I want something good to happen. Like, oh no, I just got to do this and I just got to do that to bring the luck of the crypto gods or whatever it is. It's funny. Thank you for sharing that with me, Elvin. Elvin, would you like to? No, let's get straight into it. I'm going to go back to that. Like, so what caught my attention for your project was, as soon as I opened up your doc, I started reading about, right, This is the project for goats, and what we're going to do is build a gigantic goat and park it in front of Tesla to show Elon who the real goats are. Tell us about that. Where did that come from?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that actually came directly from the community. So one of the community members mentioned that, originally, I wanted to create this community of goats just to assemble like the goats of every industry. Whoever is the goat of like, whatever industry they're in, whether it's DeFi, whether it's insurance, whatever part of crypto that they're in, I wanted to create this community of like goats in crypto and also like outside of crypto. Just because, for me, I travel all around the world, right? And I wanted to create a community where wherever I'm going, I can meet like people and, people that are doing cool stuff, that are doing innovative things, that are in crypto, that are goats, that represent like excellence. Because at the end of the day, like a goat, whether it's like Michael Jordan, he's the GOAT of basketball, whether it's Tiger Woods, the GOAT of golf, like these people are like top of their field. And for me, I want to be surrounded by people that are at the top of their field. So that's kind of why I created this like community. And that's really what it's about. Outside of like the financial gain and all that, I think that's kind of the other motive that really like pushed me to make this. So yeah, I recently heard that, a previous project had actually tried to send a goat to Elon Musk and he didn't tweet about it. But I think, what they should have done was they should have reached out to a lot of like traditional media resource like CNN, Fox, and then, get some like marketing exposure out of that. So maybe they didn't do things the right way. But yeah, that's just kind of the one ways that we plan on like marketing the project and getting like attention for it.
And like straight up, you're really going to build a big goat and take it to Tesla headquarters.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the ideas. That's one of the ideas that we have. That's correct.
That's so funny. And you're right. You never know. It could, you only have to have the right person pick it up and like, it could go boom, couldn't it? It could take off. But I mean, that's funny as hell. How are you going to do it? If you've got somebody, I mean, I don't even know where Tesla headquarters is. I'm guessing you've got people local that can actually do that for you, have you?
Yeah, I mean, we've started to look into, excuse me, I'm just looking at the chat. Looks like some bots are like coming into the chat. But anyways, yeah, we're kind of looking at like the costs of like how we would do this. And, we're just like talking with certain people about how we can make it happen. Obviously like we're very like early in the talks. We're just talking about, okay, how much would it cost? What would it take to do it? And how would we actually get it there? You know what I mean? So, yeah. But, in our talk so far, it's pretty cost effective, like 10, 15K to pull off like this. It's a marketing stunt. And yeah, I think if you do it the right way, you get like Cointelegraph, get some crypto medias to cover it. It's, yeah, I think it would be a decent investment.
It's a stunt, and it could be hilarious as well. And it's this kind of stuff. It's this kind of left field stuff. I mean, I'm not a fan of billboards in Times Square and all that kind of stuff. That does no good to anybody because, apart from the people that are already in, that it boosts their ego a bit and like, oh yeah, look at us, aren't we great? It doesn't do anything for any sort of publicity or anything like that. Not really, because most of the people, there's only like 5% of the people in the world even know what Bitcoin is, let alone where we are in the deep dark jungle of DeFi. So, right. But something like this, if you can pull it off, building a giant goat, literally pulling up and parking it in front of Tesla, even if it only lasts 5 minutes, you're right. If you get the right people there, then it could blow up. And like personally, I think it'd be absolutely hilarious. So yeah, I want to see you do it. I really do. Do you want to tell us a little bit about? You told us a little bit about your background already, but where you come from and the kind of experience that you've already had in crypto and DeFi.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in San Francisco. I went to university in Minnesota, and I started out my career in finance, and I started out doing traditional like Web2 businesses, such as direct to consumer brands, building those up. Those are still, I'm still running like a direct to consumer brand outside of Web3. But back in 2020, I wanted to sort of look into different asset classes, and that's kind of how I found my way into crypto. Started out in Bitcoin, and then I moved into like some early stage investing. I do very like small and selective deals, and one of them that I only do like one or two of these a year. Back in 2022, one of the projects that really caught my attention and really has sort of like given me the framework to build my own crypto project was Azuki. I really was with Azuki at the ground floor even before they launched, and getting into that project, I saw like what it took to build like a successful project from like start to finish, and that's sort of been the framework following the founder of that project and what he's done, all the strategies he's implemented to create like a Web3 project. That's sort of I'm taking that and following along as an investor. Obviously, it's not the same when you're like leading a project versus like a minority investor. It's definitely like two different things. But yeah, definitely like applied like some of the frameworks and some of the growth stuff that they implemented into this project. I mean, we're at 400 people. We're like 3 days in. You know what I mean? So
I know. I've been watching your chat fill up. It's been really cool actually, because I was in there quite early, wasn't I? Ken tips us out. There's only like a handful of people, 30 or 40 people in there. And I've been watching it build up, and it's genuine. I love it. It's genuine. It's legit. It's organic.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I want to build this up. No bots, like all organic. And really, like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, this is a meme coin, so there's no like direct utility tied to it. There's no expectation. Like, at the end of the day, like, this is about like the community, who's in it, how do we make each other feel, what's the potential for us to like, go viral with this, and make sure like every like early support of the community wins. Like, that's really like what it's all about. So I just want to put like people together that are goats, that want to come together, that want to do something like cool, that want to be a part of like the community. And, this is really like the opportunity. Like, once we get to like 20, 30, 40, 50 million market cap, then it's beyond like the initial like people. It's going to be too big to like, really like build those relationships. So hopefully, like, for me, joining that Azuki community led to this. So hopefully this can be that project for you. Like, where you come in, you meet other people, and then from that you branch off, and you can do something cool as well. So that's kind of what I'm hoping this project will be for people.
That's some lofty goals you've got there. 40, 50 million market cap in this market at the moment. That's right up there. But we know
maybe
you're on the right
market. Ideally, like, ideally I would like this to be like a multi-year like project. Ideally.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a baptism of fire for you. I can tell you that, because it's very different being on the other side, actually leading a project. But you have all that experience from real life, from your real life business, don't you? I know you told me that you manage a venture capital funds, don't you?
Yeah, that's correct.
Can you tell us anything about that? Because I find that kind of stuff fascinating, and I think it is really important, because it completely crosses over to what we're doing here in crypto.
Yeah, I think in venture we're looking at like early stage companies, and we're placing bets like on people that pre-product, very like early stage, and in this asset class it has the opportunity for the highest return. And, it's usually like the riskiest asset class, because, you're getting in without like future cash flows projected, very hard to project already. So yeah, early stage investing is, looking at like teams and, in this business, it's all about like the founder and yeah, that's real, and the team. That's like the most important thing that we're looking at.
It's similar. It's transfer. You know, I think the skills that you have with that are very transferable. What sort of amounts of money are you dealing with in your venture capital funds?
Yeah, so right now, it's just my funds, my personal funds, and very like close friends and family. Yeah.
And of course, we've already mentioned that the reason that we're talking tonight is because we have a mutual friend in Ken the Crypto, who we know is an OG. You know, he's recently just been here with Pengy. Pengy's doing its thing right now, isn't it? So and when I go in your chat, when I've been looking through the people that are in there, I'm like, you do have some OGs in there. You do have some goats in there. It's legit. So you have that backing from Ken. How did you meet Ken? How did you get to know Ken?
Yeah, so I've known Ken for a while now, and I've always followed along like his projects and what he's done in crypto. And yeah, I mean, I've also been an investor. Like every project that Ken's done, I'm always like an investor in it. So yeah, it just comes from like, hey, like following along like other like successful founders' journeys, seeing what they've done, and then going ahead and implementing that, like taking away like what worked, what didn't work. So with Ken, I mean, he's an OG in crypto. Like this is a guy that I really admire what he's done and what he's built. Like he's managed to build in a space where there's a lot of bad actors, and he's managed to come out and deliver like good products, create good community, make sure like people make sure things are fair. So for him, like it's very difficult to find people in this space that are like that are on camera, that are like showcasing every move they're doing, super transparent. So for me, like that was somebody I wanted to really like get to know and build a relationship with. So yeah, we've kind of we've been in talks about like the project for months and months. So I'm very excited to actually put this out. Like this is like the official project that I'm going to be putting my face and like my reputation behind. So I really do intend to like see it to the end. Yeah.
That's really
we
cool.
were talking about initially, me and Ken, we were going to launch like a insurance protocol about 2-3 months ago, and then the market is it's just not the right environment for that. So we want to kind of build this like community, this GOAT community, and on the back side of that, perhaps like add in other things. So.
Yeah. And I was talking to Ken earlier, and he was asking, because obviously he's very interested. I can see he's supporting you there in the background, and he wanted to be here. He said, "What time is it?" And like, it's 9 p.m. UTC. He's like, "Wait, that's 5 in the morning for me."
Yeah,
not going to be here. It's 5 in the morning for you as well. Wow, thank you so much for being here. So have you been on an all-nighter, or have you got up extra early, especially
I've been sleeping at 5-6 a.m. anyways, like the past like couple of days. So yeah, I usually sleep at 3-4, so it's not like a big difference. You know what I mean?
It's kind of DeFi times and similar as well.
Gen times, how it is.
Yeah. We work with nighttime create vampires.
Gen time zone.
It's true. So I want to get into the token a little bit. So it's going to be a tax token, isn't it? And you're launching on ETH, so it's going to be ERC20. I mean, that we know that's where the money is. It's a very competitive market, though. So tell us about your tokenomics. Talk us through the taxes and what you're going to do with those and how it's going to work.
Yeah, so we're going to have a 5% sell tax in the first like couple of days, just because we really want like people that come into this project to think like long term and to really like support really my vision at the end of the day, and support like the Goaty vision. So we don't want people that come in and like, okay, let me just get like a 2x, 3x. Like that's not what we're looking for. You know what I mean? Like we're looking for, a strong chart. We want to go up, and we want to find like support somewhere like in the mid like hundreds, thousands. Like we don't. That's ideally what we want to happen, and we really want people that are interested in like, this project long term. Like I'm gonna be working on this for the next year, the next 2 years. So for me, if I can get people that are going to back this project long term, then that's going to give me the opportunity to really build this out. Because, I've built a lot of relationships throughout the year. Like I said, I'm in the Zuki community since day one. I hold a couple of them, and I've never sold. You know what I mean? So like, there's only 130 people that have never sold like in the Zuki, right? So, I'm also, I have a lot of connections in Web 2 as well, and I want to have the opportunity to really like onboard like a lot of people, you know what I mean? And there's certain stages. You can't onboard someone who has like a big influence at an early stage, because then their people are going to see it's not going to be congruent. You know what I mean? Like they're bringing in too much capital. Like when you have too much capital, like you can't really place that capital into something that's like low market cap, because you're going to hold like 50% supply, 25% supply. You know what I mean? So as like the project grows, then the market cap grows, then that allows for more bigger people to come in, because they can come in and they can take 1% stake, 2% stake, and not move like the market cap like crazy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So
like the more capital you have, the more opportunities become limited. You know what I mean? Like the smaller capital you have, your world of opportunities is bigger. There's more things.
Yeah. And this is music to my ears, because obviously you have real world experience of how these things work. No disrespect meant to anybody in this space, but there's a lot of people here, like myself. The first project that I ever led, that I was the CEO of, I came from the community. I had a good idea, put a team together. I hadn't got a clue what I was doing. I'm not savvy to the business side of things, including tokenomics and how to scale things as well. But what you're talking about there seems to suggest that you have a real good understanding of that. Of course you do. You mentioned you manage a venture capital fund. You must have to be successful in that. People don't trust people with their money if they don't know what they're doing with it. So that's really, really cool. I want to go back into the functions of your token, and also, I'm going to mention it. You talked about Ken, and we've recently had Pengi, and Ken's still, I still check in on Pengi, and like he's done really, really well with it in difficult circumstances. But the thing is, in this market, you tend to have one shot and to be able to get going, to get launched, get some X's, and then stabilize and get your floor and keep going up. And of course, we know that with Pengi, unfortunately, there wasn't sniper bot protection in there, and it got sniped horrifically. And the sniper holds everybody as hostage for the first, I think it was about the first 48 hours. So it never had a chance to get going. But I know we've been talking, haven't we? And you've been talking to me about lessons learned from that. So do you want to speak to that a little bit about the kind of stuff that you're going to put in place to protect Goaty on launch from getting sniped in the first block and all that kind of stuff that can absolutely destroy projects?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it's always good to take like lessons from what's worked in the past, what hasn't worked, and then implement that. A wise man learns from someone else's mistakes, others' mistakes. So, as far as like the sniper thing, we're currently talking about, a couple different options. So one is perhaps like, limiting that and limiting like the sniper's ability to sell in, first couple of days. That's definitely something, we're talking about. Number two, we're potentially talking about doing more like a traditional like pre-sale, maybe not like PvP. And those are some of the options that we're considering.
Yep, that's really good. But of course, pre-sale is one thing. When it launches, it's the first block that trading's enabled and liquidity's added. That's when the bots get sniff that first little bit and manage to snap up whole big chunks of the supply. But you're aware of that. I mean, I'm personally a fan of, this isn't everybody's cup of tea, but I think there's nothing wrong with having a blacklist functioning for the first block. Put it out there to everybody. Hey, if you snipe, you're going to get fucked, and you're going to get trapped. So don't do it. And that's one way of doing things, isn't it? So I know you don't want to give away too much about what you're going to be doing to protect us from those nasty snipers that can do lots of damage. Are you thinking about having limiting the amount that people can hold in wallets and things like that? Or is it going to be open season?
Yeah, so there's going to be a maximum buy. There's going to be a maximum buy in the pre-sale. Yeah, so that'll be in place.
Yeah, okay. So this is a great segue into talking about the pre-sale. So what's your ideas for the pre-sale? How's it going to work? What's your soft cap? What's your hard cap? And how much are people going to be able to get in, and how are they going to get into the pre-sale?
Yeah, so this will actually be the first time I'm talking about that. So I haven't released it yet. I haven't released it to the group. I haven't released it to anybody yet. So
So this is alpha. We've got alpha here, guys.
An edge over everybody. So as far as how to get in the pre-sale, we're reserving 100 pre-sale spots for KOLs and alpha group leaders like Jesse, and so 100 for them, and then we're gonna have another 400 reserved for people that are top 400 on the Zeely competition. So I have the link in the description, and there's some people that have literally already started doing it, even though I haven't announced okay, what is it for? But yeah, people have already begun doing the task on Zeely and entering the competition that they don't even know about. But yeah, officially I'm going to be announcing that in the next 24 hours. Essentially, if you're top 400 on the Zeely, you're going to automatically get the whitelist. So that's pretty much going to be how it works, because at the end of the day, we want people that are going to be in this for the long term. And we don't want people that sell on the first day, sell on the second day. I want people that are going to see this with me through the entire journey. Give me the opportunity to really build out the utility. Give me the opportunity to throw some events. Let's meet up in person, stuff like that. You know what I mean? I don't, because I'm putting my face on it and putting my reputation on it. I don't want it to be one pump and then done. You know what I mean? That's not what I want.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because we see I mean, I see hundreds of them every day. People coming in the chat hey, this is going to be the next one. This is going to be amazing. And then I check back in literally a couple of hours later, and you just see, big pump and then loads of red, and then that's it, game over. And there is so much of that, and there's a name for it. They're tax farms, pure and simple. And people are just churning them over. It's a scam in itself. But this is why I love to get people like yourself in, that are happy to sit down and show your face and come on camera and say, hey, this is who I am. This is what we're about. This is what we're doing. So let's talk a bit more about your pre-sale, because that's really exciting. And I'm sure there's people here that would be interested in knowing how they can get into a piece of that. You've mentioned that you've got Zeely up and running for people that don't manage lounges or big Twitter accounts or whatever it is, YouTubes and all that kind of stuff. That Zeely is in the info for this show, so you can go in and you can find it in there as well. But obviously you've got it over in your channel. So how much are you looking to raise? How much is your soft cap going to be, and how much is your hard cap going to be?
Yeah, so our soft cap is going to be 20 ETH, and then hard cap is going to be 88 ETH.
88, lucky number. lucky number in Chinese, right? 88. I like it.
Yeah.
It kind of ties back to where we started with your anecdotes about your card players saying this one's for grandpa, this one's for granny,
Yeah, I think
all that kind of stuff. I like it.
There's no downside to it, to believing in it. We'll just leave it at that. If you're gonna do it, why not use every possible thing that can help you?
Absolutely, absolutely. And how much of the allocation is going to be for each whitelist?
Yeah, so each person is going to have the opportunity to contribute 0.15 ETH.
Okay, so that's pretty tiny, actually. 0.15. I mean, in the scheme of things. So my maths is absolutely rubbish. I'm good at number go up, number get bigger, or not so good when numbers go down. A true degen myself, but that's a lot of wallets. Somebody else in the chat can work that out. Yeah, so you're looking at having quite a substantial amount of holders there. And you're talking about how many white spots for coals and influencers? 100, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's a really, really good model. I mean, we saw how well that worked for Pengy, the hype that can create, because of course you're inviting people like myself. I don't think of myself as a particularly big coal or influence or anything like that, but I have a loud mouth. I can talk a lot, but and this is where we start pulling people in, getting real people in to create this thing and to create that hype. So that's quite a lot. So how many influencer type people do you have on board currently? Do you know?
Yeah, currently we have about 10 that are fully on board, that are helping us, that are sharing what we're doing, and we're talking to the rest of them right now, every single day.
Amazing, perfect. And let's drill down into the numbers a bit more. So I saw earlier you put a proposal out in the community. I couldn't find it. I was trying to find it before this show, about the allocations, about the percentage that you're going to use for pre-sales and where everything's going to go, how that's going to work. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so we're thinking about doing 70% to the pre-sale, 15% to the LP, and then the rest is for marketing and partners.
Okay. But I mean, those numbers to me, when I looked at it earlier, I'm like, that seems reasonable. So you're literally giving the power to the pre-salers who are only going to have tiny bits per wallet. So the incentive there for them to hold it rather than cheat it as soon as they see a 2x. That's quite good. And especially with the higher tax for selling on the way out. So am I right in saying that when you get to where you want to be, your taxes are going to be 1-1, one in, one out?
Yeah.
But on launch, you're starting with what, 1% in and 5% on sales. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. That sounds good. That sounds good. So you're penalising sellers and building up that marketing wallet so you can do the things. And if you can pull off that stunt that we're talking about, parking the goat in front of Tesla, and you can actually get Elon's attention, or at least get some news attention, that could be really good. That could be really, really good. All right. So that sounds really good. Okay. At this point, I want to get you to give the community their code word so that they can get their Google Forms uploaded, and then we can start having a look at some of their questions. So give the people their code word. What's it going to be?
Great. Let's use the code word Kid Goat.
Kid Goat.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Kid Goat. I'll spell it. We're not very strict on this.
Kid Goat.
Kid goats. That's
I like my current
KID.
Telegram window.
Hey, kid goat, right?
Kid goat, yeah.
KID.
Yes,
GOAT, kid goat. So
that's correct.
guys that are in the chat now, get that into your Google form. Get your good questions in there. If it's already been asked, don't ask it again because like it's already been asked. I'm not going to ask it, and you want me to be asking your questions, right? So you can win those prizes. Make them good ones, and if you can't think of anything that's technical or interesting in that way, think of something that's funny because obviously this is the palace of the DJs and we all like a laugh here. And you know me, if I see something that makes me laugh, I'll probably read it out. I'll probably ask it because,
Absolutely.
hey,
Okay.
that's what we're about here. We're having a bit of fun, right?
Do it.
Okay, guys, you've got 10 minutes. Yeah, you've got 10 minutes. So you've got till 7 minutes past 10 to get the code word, which is kid goat, into those Google forms and get them uploaded. And the quicker you get them uploaded, the more chance you've got of me noticing your question and actually asking it. I'll probably ask 5 or 6, depending on the quality of the questions that we get in tonight. I think that's pretty good. And yeah, so I want to come back to some of the fun stuff. So we're talking about the goats, the god of all time, right? That's the correct breakdown of that analogy. And
Right.
we were talking earlier about like you were telling me you're the goat, and I'm like, no, I'm the goat. So let's let's have it out. Who is the goats, and how are we going to be the goats together?
I'm sorry. Who is the GOAT? Okay. So
I'm going off of one, aren't I?
every single person that's in the group is a GOAT. Like to me, if you're
Who's the biggest goat?
if you're in crypto right now and you're still like you're still regenning, like you're a GOAT. It takes a special type of person to do that. You know what I mean? So that means you really believe in this narrative. You really believe in the decentralization of currencies. And you really believe in, ultimately democratizing capital raising, because I think crypto is a way to raise capital. So, you believe in all these functions in crypto. You believe in DeFi. You believe in really giving, you believe in community owned things. In crypto, everything is community owned. So that's what you believe in. And to me, you're a GOAT. So if you're in the GOAT community, you're a GOAT. That's it.
And this is music to my ears. I say it all the time. Crypto, of course. Well, I speak for myself. I came here. I got in just before the last halvening, and I didn't know how lucky I was that I actually got in on the COVID dump when I bought Bitcoin when it was like at 4K and ETH for $300, and I was looking at. Like, oh, this is expensive. I haven't got a clue what I was doing. So I've been through a cycle. I've been through the excitement of the bull run. It sounds to me like you actually got in on the end of the last bull, actually. If you were in at 22, that must have been the tail. I can't remember. It's all a bit of a haze now.
2020, yeah. I started buying Bitcoin in 2020. Bitcoin in
2020. So about the same as me. So you've been through a whole cycle. But you're right, and I followed Girl Gone Crypto. I love her. She's like a little one-liners on Twitter and that. I don't follow many people on Twitter, but I saw she tweeted something earlier about, like if you're here now, you're the real deal, because we're going to see when we get into the next cycle, we're going to see there's going to be lots of people coming back. Because in the good times, people like to be here. But just like you said then, it's the people that are here now are the real believers. And it's also my belief and experience, I've seen it firsthand, that people that are here and that get through these times and continue building, building community, building relationships, getting together, doing new stuff, are the people that are actually going to benefit long term when we get back to the golden days, when we get, because we will do, it's hard coded into Bitcoin's code, isn't it? You know, when the supply shock hits again, when we get to another half in the mining rewards, demand will outstrip supply and number will go up lots, and so will the whole of the market cap for decentralized finance, which is really, really cool. So yeah, you know, I agree with you 100%. If you're here now, you are the GOAT. We're all the GOATs. So this is really, really cool. Right, I can see a few, we've got quite a few responses in actually. Let me open up the Google sheet and have a little look through. Let me just check on here what we got. Oh yeah, so I want to go back to your pre-sale because that's really important, and obviously we want that to get filled up. I would love to see that get 88 ETH in it. I mean, with Pengy, and you're running a similar kind of model as Pengy, so I feel like you've taken Ken's guidance and leadership in that, and that works really, really well. You know, the excitement. I was one of the coals that had tier 1 listing in Pengy, and I was really quick and I couldn't get in. You know, that 30 ETH, it was, I've never seen a pre-sale like it. If you can pull that off and fill up the whole 88 ETH out of that, that's going to be something. That's going to be something really special. How much of that ETH is going to go into your liquidity pairing?
So 15% of the tokens are going to go into the liquidity pool.
Yeah, but how much of the pre-sale funds are you going to use to add the liquidity?
Yeah, so that's going to depend on like the starting market cap. We haven't released it officially yet, but it's going to be between 100 and 200K. So that's really going to determine, how much of that we put into the liquidity pool.
So what kind of percentage are you looking to use to pair with liquidity for the tokens? And what are you thinking of keeping?
It's going to be a significant amount for sure. Like very similar to Pengy and what they did. Yeah, I'm still talking to Ken.
Well, I think with Pengy, all of the raised ETH, the whole 30 ETH, from what I can remember, the whole lot went into liquidity.
Yeah.
And then obviously as trading started, the marketing wallet filled up to do the bits and bobs that were needed. So
yeah, I need to speak with my advisors. Like, this is my first crypto project, so
yeah. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
That's totally fair, and I'm sure before you get to the pre-sale, we'll have all the information out there, because of course this is really important information.
Yeah, all the information is going to be out.
Perfect. Right, okay. So I'm going to start asking a few of these questions. This is a good question. This is a valid question. Hold on, let me just make it a different color so that I can see it. Okay, so this person asks, I really want to know, what are your plans if Goaty Coin was in a huge slump? So what steps would you take if the market was in a downtrend? Okay. That's quite a tough question.
Yeah, that is a tough question. You guys are bringing the sauce. I like that. So ideally, first things first. I want to say, like I said, I'm putting my face and brand behind the coin. So I want to develop a group of people that really support the vision. That's really what I want to do. With this initial push. And if you're not one of those people, maybe don't buy it. Maybe don't buy the pre-sale. Maybe don't buy the launch. Maybe wait 1-2 weeks, see where we're at. You know what I mean? So, for me, like with these initial like supporters, I want to establish like market presence. Like that's really the goal of this launch, and establish like people that are like goats, like people that are here to really like see this through with me. So that's first thing first. If we were in a slump, like, I know how to market, and I know like, how to actually like get attention, from running like a direct to consumer brand. There's a certain framework that we use to do that. So, it all starts with a product placement, and then from those product placements, they turn into like pretty much ambassadors, like full-time people that represent the brand. And then from there, once you own like the audience, then, we're like using that to remarket. So that's sort of the framework that I would use to, get some more eyeballs on this and really figure out, okay, is there something that people are not liking? Like I said, this is a community-owned meme coin. So, I'm really going to come to the community and say, hey, what are you guys not liking? What do you think we can do better? And then, we can do some polls, we can do some, voting and see where we should take the direction of things.
That's a great segue into the next question. Good answers. So literally, you're planning ahead. What you're trying to do is to build a community of believers that actually see this as having potential to go somewhere. And like, if you can pull off the big stunt that you're talking about and things after that to capitalize on that, I mean, yeah, it could. Things we know in this space, especially on ETH, things can go viral really quickly and catch fire, and like, it can be staggering. So you want people in that are going to believe in that. Right, so this next person is talking about, wants to know, is there any plan to have local people from different countries as your ambassadors who can go into different colleges or universities spreading the word about your project, or you guys can do lives? That doesn't make any sense. We're in DeFi. Wait, I hadn't read far enough in that. I'm not even gonna carry on with that. This person's wanting to know about going into colleges and universities and spreading the word and doing live seminars in universities with help of those marketers or ambassadors. No, okay, all right. So I started on the question. I think go on. I think the point about ambassadors, they're just stuck with that. I don't know about they're going into colleges and universities. I don't know. But anyway, ambassadors. Do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I think, there's currently like a lot of different like marketing campaigns that we're thinking about doing. One of them is like, building an email list of like all the zookeepers in the world, and then having them make content with their goats, and then having that like be our like content library that we can, push and bring attention. That's one of the things that we're thinking about doing. I like the university thing. One of the things that got boarded off the ground was like they really captured the youth and people like that are visionary, and I think that's a big audience to target. So very simple to do that. We have all these people that are running around with microphones asking people like stupid questions. Yeah, you pay them like a couple $100, they'll make a video, it'll go viral. It's actually easy. Like you pay them like $200 to make a video, that's like 1 million views. Yo, what do you like right now? Like you guys, like you go to like a campus that has authority, for example, UCLA, USC, they already have built it up authority. So like you go onto the campus, you're borrowing that authority. The student, they go to that university, so you're borrowing their authority as well. And yeah, that's definitely like one of the things that we can do like with the ambassadors. So the difference between like an ambassador and like a one-time promotion. Ambassador is someone who like represents the brand, who shows up day in, day out. One-off promotions are sort of like for example, the marketing stuff that I said. So that's kind of the difference between the two.
Great answer, thank you. Actually, that's quite a good question, and I like where you're going with that. You know, it
Yeah,
sounds like you're switched on, and you have some really good ideas about how you can get some really good marketing ideas and spread the word for quite limited cost, which is nice because I gotta say, when I hear people talking about getting callers in and paying this channel and that channel, it's just money down the drain. Like when I hear people talking about things like you're doing, it's like,
yeah,
hey, this could be really good. So
yeah.
let's go on to the next. Let's go on to the next question. This is a
Okay.
funny one. Let me just read it. Right. Okay. So this is a funny one. So this person says, building a giant goat in front of Tesla headquarters reminds me of the Trojan horse used by the Greeks during the Trojan War to enter the city of Troy and win the war. Is this just a cunning plan to overtake Tesla headquarters by goaty community? You're going to make a Trojan goat to take to give to Elon. Here you go.
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. That's one way of looking at it. We had a team actually try this in the last bull market. Not sure why it didn't work. Elon didn't market them. But yeah, that's just one of the ideas. Yeah.
It's a Trojan goat. I like that one. Okay,
That's
so
interesting.
I just need to read through these and find another couple of good ones. All right, so that's a fair question, actually. I haven't heard you talk about it in tokenomics, but it may be something that you want to consider. So this person would like to know, is there any way, are you thinking of any way to reward long-term holders of the project through reflections? And they've said reflections. I'm thinking possibilities of staking, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're definitely discussing some things that we can do to reward the holders. We're definitely gonna do something where people that hold X amount of tokens, they're gonna be in a private more exclusive community. So if you're able to actually get your hands on that, that's gonna be super beneficial. But yeah, we want to reward real holders, and we don't want to really talk too much about it and promote it because at the end of the day, we want people that really believe in what we're doing and our plans, how we actually plan to build this out, and then from that, naturally we hope that the utilities that we provide and the price appreciation will reflect that. Yeah,
that sounds great.
This is a community-owned coin. I want you guys to really understand. Just want to thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for supporting Goaty. This is very early stage, and I was hitting on in the last point, this is a community-owned meme coin. So I don't want you guys to think I don't want you guys to have the wrong expectations. So this could go really, really well, and I'm hoping to build sort of a community Zuki, all these different Web3 projects, and build it into the next bull market. So I'd be very grateful if you guys want to support this vision and be a part of this community of goats. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the goat community, and yeah, we'll speak soon. Thank you guys so much.
Cheers, man.
Take care.
Take it easy. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, mate. Well done. Awesome, mate.
I'm going to do this. I mean, I can't even see who's still in the chat. But the way I'm going to do it is I'm just going to spin it until there's no names left. And then we will pick the 3 winners that haven't cheated. But this one, I'm going to do it differently because those prizes for the best question and the second best question, I'm going to say for this one, it has to be 3 different people because otherwise those prizes are just going to be too big. So I think that's fair. So I'm going to spin the wheel now until we get to the last. Well, I'll just spin it until there's no names left, and then those last ones will be the ones that are in with the shout of actually winning. I guess that makes sense, doesn't it? I think makes sense because we're still recording. Okay, so Gabrielle, you're out. Usually, of course, I do music and the whole bit with this, but like tonight, it's been fucked because of my internet provider. Fuckers. Crypto Gabriel, sorry, you're out. Nonny Boy, sorry, you're out. A Blessed One, sorry, you're out. Crystal Matt, sorry, you're out. Manian, you're out. Bachelor, DeFi, okay, you're out. ISG, you're out. Randomly chosen, you're out. Okay, so now we're down to the last 7. So I'll start writing these ones down. So, Crash. 71. Maybe. Gabriello 177. Christian VT3, you're in with a chance. Buffalo Gems. G-Mooney Yolts. Okay. I hope you haven't entered twice, G-Mooney, because that will disqualify you. And that leaves Release. Oh, I'm happy. Release is in. Oh, no. Release. Okay. All right. So anyway, it's all recorded and everything, so I think that's all fair now. Right. Does anybody else want to talk in the chat? Again, thank you for sticking with me. Sorry about my internet. Can't do anything about it. It will be better. The next one will definitely be better because I'll be back in the UK, she says. I'll be back in the UK and have a new internet provider. And like, who knows, I may even have like some decent internet that doesn't make me all pixelated and keep cutting out halfway through the show and stuff like that. So it should all be good. So yeah, thank you.